Hello and welcome to today's reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and the current union energy going on for Twin Flames. So I've definitely been moving through, I feel like some intense, it's upheaval, but it's really going really to the core and dealing with what it is that's kind of sitting there so that you can have your good in that place. And I mean, in a way, that's kind of always the case in how, you want to work the process, but it does definitely feel like a time for that in a very directed, focused, and intense way. And I said more about this in yesterday's reading with a pretty long time I spent on the astrology going on, so if you want to reference that you can, but for today I think it's good to just kind of go into the cards and focus on what the cards have to say. So what I would say what the divine has to say, in the communication more so. Card reading is always having an interaction with life, an interaction with source. And that's what it's about, right? Like I'm not a spellcaster over here or something like that, and that has been coming up in the collective. And so I think it's good to just get clear on that and really claim what I do as a loving and professional practice. And I am here to support you, and I am confident in what I do, and that it's something that's truly based in love and not something else. So that felt good to say. Wasn't expecting to say all that, but hey. So today we have the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue, and then I have one card to wrap it all up at the end, so make sure you stick around, and that's a Crystal Angel card, and that's also by Doreen Virtue. So we'll start with what the Divine Feminine say. We'll just go right into it. And it's funny, this card I used to get a lot when I was teaching at a public school and quite the neighborhood, I guess, in South Central LA basically. I would, whenever I'd get this card, I'd be like, oh God, what's going to go on tomorrow? But I eventually healed through it, and I healed through receiving this message and realizing that I could be at peace. And then I stopped getting crazy things for the most part that would happen when I was getting this communication. So I think it's going deeper here with I'll read it, and in case you may have read it by now, but just in case you haven't, a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. And so you can get that, kind of almost anxious feeling reading this card, right? Like a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. And it's the Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. So there is this kind of restless energy within that can be calmed with just simply choosing peace, right? Even if there is a restlessness in your soul or something that you are wrestling with, you can release ego and be compassionate with yourself too if there's anger presented in your inner reality or somehow something, some kind of similar energy to that in your outer reality. And basically what that is it's like a numbing out to the deeper thing. So there's some sadness perhaps to be explored in that area, or there is some kind of some kind of feeling that is going to be something to contend with. And so sometimes that immediate attention that you need is just pointing you back to your harmonious union too, because although you could say time is always of the essence, or even that time doesn't matter. They're kind of like saying the same thing. I mean, you never want to wait, right? Like you never want to wait for your good. You don't need to hurry, like you don't need to force it. That's control. And when you do, it'll usually feel bad, and sometimes everyone around you, even the people that are helping you, will tell you to hurry, right? Like, because that's sort of what you're working through, is you're manifesting in your reality what it is that your beliefs are. And so if you really believe that you need to hurry to get your good, that will often be reflected back to you until you heal to the truth that you don't need to hurry, and then that'll generally kind of stop happening in my experience. And yeah, so it's something to pay attention to also, but it's just like also a card of sharp focus. So for the divine feminine, yeah, it's just time to get to that essential place within and allow yourself to feel your feelings there, allow yourself to feel the passionate place, and to really just choose union within, and to choose your good. Even if you need to move through something in that space, you're like being given the, you know, the green light to go ahead and move through that, and know that you are supported in moving through that. Even, well, no matter how it kind of like looks and feels in the moment, it's a good idea to just go ahead with it, you know, the feelings. And yeah, I mean, sometimes your emotions aren't what you like desire in that place, but actually it is the correct emotions in that place within returning to you when you choose to feel through the other kind of unpleasant things, no matter, you know, how it looks in the instance. But you can always also choose to not hold on to the thing that you don't want, like anger, for instance. So if you're feeling angry, that's okay, but you don't, you know, that's like, if you're making an overall intention also on your spiritual journey to release all ego from your reality, from your consciousness, that doesn't mean you're not gonna like experience anger, right? But in that experience, you can experience love as your primary thing, even if it's, you know, like the anger is kind of still overpowering in some way. At the core, there's love, because that's what you're choosing, and so you're just choosing to move through that. And yeah, it's just safe to work that process, and to choose for it to be like a snappy thing, right? Like, yeah, you don't need to hold on to that. So, and if there is something in your reality that's like coming, you know, something you need to pay attention to, just know that that's okay. Like, again, it can be peaceful. You know, even if it's something with kids, like a kid, you know, scrapes his knee or whatever, it's okay. So it's appropriate to have that peace that you can share with another, even if there is anything going on in your reality, and share it with yourself, and know that like whatever it is that comes up is just like, it's just another thing, right? So yeah, that feels good. Feels like you're really stepping deeper into divine feminine power too. So that's like the last thing I'm really getting from that card. Oh, it's just like my crystal just went flying. So yeah, all right, that's funny, interesting. I guess that was my sudden event that needed immediate attention. So yeah, the Divine Masculine's card, Awakening, Archangel Gabriel. What a nice, this is a very chill card on the other hand. So it's look at things from a different perspective, a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So this is like on the flip side, like the green light for the Divine Masculine to chill out, you know, like you don't need to, like maybe there's something you're really wanting to fall into place, and it's just, if it's not quite there yet, this is just a reminder that you're exactly where you need to be. And yeah, you don't need to like do anything at this time outside of what you're being called to do. And so actually the most important thing to do is to go deeper with, like being yourself and just, like intimacy with yourself basically. And that can involve your twin flame too in any way that is appropriate for you and your twin flame at this time. And, even if that means primarily in your heart and going deeper there, then do that, and you can just choose that. And remember too, the message of this card is very clearly look at things from a different perspective, because they're like kind of almost upside down. So if you need to kind of refocus on something from a different perspective, this is also kind of like a permission or just a reminder to do that and to see things a little bit differently than you've been looking at them. And it might really help you get clear in a place, really kind of see through something that seemed a little bit murky, and that can feel really good. And this is also you kind of holding space for the divine feminine to like have a little bit more of a kind of impassioned experience at the moment. So feels good. I left my window open. I forgot to close it, so here's some cards. It's okay. The Hermit. So interesting. So this is the Union card. Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. So this goes for both twin flames, and even though maybe the divine feminine's having a little more fiery kind of a feeling, and the divine masculine, not saying you can't be having, whatever feelings you're feeling, of course. But you get the overall energy of them both. But for both parties, it's appropriate to kind of take some time, some quiet time, some more meditative time right now. You've been processing a lot. There's a lot of things kind of shifting in the energy of your union. I mean, whatever it is that you're working through, I think sometimes like with the mirror exercise, it's like, I'm not seeing any results. I'm loving myself and nothing's happening. Or I just worked through all this deep crap and like, okay. I mean, I don't want to say like things don't take time necessarily, or it's not like, be patient, but at the same time, there is truth to that too. And it's just that you can't like do something expecting a very specific outcome. I mean, there's certain systems we have in place so that you can do that with certain things. Like you go to the laundromat if you need to do that, and you do your laundry and you kind of expect things to go okay there with doing your laundry, but maybe the laundromat is closed and you have to figure something else out. Like you can't always like see how things are going to go, but that's okay. And it's not your job to do that, but it is also appropriate to expect miracles in your reality, because that is the truth, is that miracles are a natural occurrence. And so that's more of the way to correct your mind is to see the good, to feel the good, and to keep cultivating the good feelings within, and allow your heart to do that. It's not something you need to like force or whatever. You just let it happen. And so this can be a really good time to really kind of go within to those places that might need some kind of tending to, now that you've seen the thing, within that's like, oh my God, healed through it. And you can just bring some really nice, gentle living awareness there, and you can actually discover something really cool about yourself in this process. And this is also, about manifesting. And again, you don't know maybe necessarily what it is you're going to receive, but that's not really what it's about, because if you receive the thing and you can't really receive it within, what's the point, right? So it's just that your feelings and your inner experiences is primary, and it's also not separate from your outer experience. So that's about healing that thought that there's separation there. yeah, spiritual teaching, so time to perhaps go deeper with that as well. And yeah, know that this is also a temporary thing, right? Sometimes I think this card, it's like, am I gonna like have to go into a cave and live there for the next 9 months? I mean, maybe, but probably not. So yeah, and number 9 is always reminds me of pearls of wisdom. I have some pearls right here. We'll just take a moment. I mean, they're like dyed or something, but they're pearls. But yeah, so it's kind of funny I have them right there. But anyways, yeah, so just about really shining those pearls of wisdom that you've already gained and being grateful for them and going deeper with like, yeah, just your wisdom, appreciating it, and perhaps kind of tipping that point to sharing it in a new way. But first, like sharing it with yourself, self-discovery, and then it's going to be easier to share that with others. Yeah, so the final card, APOPHYLLITE, increased support. So this is not the best angle there. Your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. That's very positive. You could take a deep breath, relax into that message for you and what that means for you. And again, it's not about a specific outcome or expectation, but it's about knowing that you're supported and being open to receiving that. And that it's like also just an indicator of your success, this card, in whatever spiritual work that you've been choosing to do, and opening the doorway to an abundance. So it's also saying just when there is an open door, walk through it. So just you don't need to be on the lookout necessarily. It's usually pretty obvious if there's like a open door to your next step, but sometimes they are more subtle, and so you do want to be aware of that at the same time. Like, are you paying attention to this opportunity over here? Are you kind of like not fully going through that open door because you think you need to control over in this other place, even though the door is closed? So yeah, just a reminder to receive your support by just going through that open door, because there's abundance there, and that's a good thing. And there might be some things along the way, of course, that you're gonna have to work through that could even just be feelings of unworthiness, like am I worthy of receiving all of this support? Am I worthy of this next level, like this vortex that I'm stepping into? And of course you are. So it's just choosing to release resistance to that and choosing your good. And it's safe to have compassion for yourself if you in recognizing that you have that resistance, but it's not appropriate to hold on to it if you're aware of it. So you do want to work through that and release it fully. Just, the process will basically work itself as you just, choose it and do the mirror exercise. And I always have links below that you can check out for that. So very good. That's going to conclude this reading for today. So kind of a very peaceful conclusion to all this information. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week ahead, and check out the links below if you're interested in working with me or readings, and all the other information down there. And you can hit the subscribe button and notifications if you want to be notified when readings are coming out, and support the readings, because I do love it when I get new subscribers every time. Feels good. So yeah, anyways, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Love you. Bye.